What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this video. My name's Hayden Davidson. You're watching FBA TV. That's exactly what you're doing. So in this video, I've got a few notes here. What we're going to do is go through prep centers, using prep centers for Amazon. I've got a few questions here, okay? So what's a prep center? What does a prep center do? The pros and cons of using a prep center. What you got to consider when using a prep center. We're going to talk about the costs of a prep center. We're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk about my recommendations for prep centers. Okay, so big video, should help beginners a lot. So let's dive into it without further ado, no fluff or anything. So first of all, what is a prep center? So a prep center for Amazon specifically is something that just takes all the hassle out of your prepping, basically. So if you don't use a prep center, what you're going to have to do is get all the items delivered to your home address, or wherever you are, your place of work. You're going to have to prep them up yourself, do the bubble wrap and stuff like that, put them in boxes and get them sent to Amazon. Now, there's quite a lot of work in that, okay? Now, you can save money initially, but there's quite a lot of work in that. So what an Amazon FBA Prep Center is that they do all the legwork for you. So what they will do is they will share a sheet with you most times. Any items you're buying, you simply put it on the sheet, and then it gets delivered to them, and they prep it up and send it to Amazon for you. It's literally as simple as that. And then that means you can get the Prime badge when you send it out without having to send it yourself. And that's exactly what a prep center does as well, as I've answered both questions there. So let's look at the pros and cons. So obviously the pros mean that you can live wherever you want in the world. You can run the business completely remotely, which is amazing. It gives you the chance to take a step back from the business, not having to worry about actually doing the prep. Means that you've got more time to either source items or grow the business or create new products, depending on what business model that you do, or even go around shops. If you do retail arbitrage, send them to the prep center. So but the cons, obviously there is some cons to it. Obviously the cost is the main con, because prepping yourself at home, there's no cost to that. It's just your time cost. So I would say there is a cost, but there's no direct cost apart from your time. Obviously your time is costing you something, but you can't actually track that. So obviously there's no initial cost to it, okay? So depending on how many items you can prep yourself, you don't actually have to pay for a prep center. So obviously that's the first con. But if you want to really scale this business, you can't prep it yourself forever anyway, obviously. Whether you get your own warehouse and get staff, if you want to scale it, or use a prep center, if you want to scale it, you can't prep it yourself forever anyway. So the first con obviously is the cost. And the second con is obviously there's more than this, but the second con that I know and understand is obviously the fact that you are going to have to understand that you aren't fully in control of that. So they might not have the systems and operations to run it as efficiently as you need them to, for example, in the busy periods. Some might be fine, but when you're not fully in control of your systems, obviously you've got to fully rely on someone else's systems, and you've got to trust and have the knowledge that they are really, really reliable. So that's what I would take into account with cons, okay? But for me, there's more pros that outweigh the cons until we get to the stage where we're going to get our own warehouse. Let's talk about considerations when you're using a prep center as well, what you've got to consider. So look, you've got to consider, are you at the stage where you're making enough money to outsource? So I would say initially from the start, you probably should prep yourself, maybe, just to get used to it, just the first few items. But as soon as you can afford the cost, then you should consider using one. Now, how I did this is that when I was doing a certain amount of products, say selling 500 products a month, for example, I put down when I was doing my profit and loss each month, I tested putting an additional cost of, say, 50p per item. That's what it was back when I was doing it. See how much it is with you, depending on the items that you send. I did a test and I took that off my net profit at the end of the month. And if you're still way in profit, right, when you put that cost down, right, that fake cost that you're taking off, pretending that you're using a prep center, then it might be time to get a prep center. And it might be time to start putting more time into it. Now, if not, and if that cost is too high, then maybe you need to keep prepping for now. So there's a few considerations you need to take into account. Now, the prep center costs, let's go over this. Now, the prep center costs are pretty diverse depending on the sort of model that you do, and depending on the amount of items that you sell and if they're bundles, etc. So usually you've got a basic cost which of the prep for a single product, which could be between 40p and 60p, depending on the prep center that you use, as far as I'm aware. Probably between 35, 50, 60p, etc. for one item. And then you can go, and then that depends if it's bubble wrapped, etc., etc., put in poly bags, etc. This depends on the prep center as well, by the way. And then you've got different fees for bundles, you know, like if you're doing a multi-pack, I mean, like a pack of 6, for example. But all prep centers that you're going to use should have a very clear outline list on their website, okay? And then the next thing on their website, okay, so you'll see it all clearly. And the next thing is, look, recommendations for me, right? Have I got a prep center that I would actually recommend to you having used? And the answer is yes, I have, okay? So the prep center that I would recommend that you use is Prepared for You from Paul Cousins. So that's Paul Cousins Prep Center, Prepared for You. I've been using these guys for months and months now, and they've been doing a phenomenal job. Okay, so we've got a Skype chat, which we chat to them on, and my VA is fully in charge of that. The items get put on the sheet, they get sent to him, they get sent to the fulfillment centers. It's as simple as that. We've had minimal issues. I mean, I haven't had any issues that have been the issue of the prep centers. I would actually go so far as say we've had, honestly, 0 issues with Prepared for You. They've been a fantastic prep center for us, and they've been doing everything efficiently, etc., etc. If there's any returns, they sort them out for us. It's a very efficient process, lovely staff to talk to. They get back on the Skype chat very, very fast. And also there's a phone number that you can use as well. And also I'm very close with Eddie, who's actually the sort of manager that's in charge of it. A great guy, and he's sort of there to chat to you on WhatsApp or on the phone whenever you need it, which is really, really nice. So look, if you want to give them a go, I've got a discount code for them for life. If you put Hayden into the coupon code, go and type in the coupon code that I've got below, hit the link below, and you can go and get a discount for Prepared for You, which I've got exclusively just for you guys, so that I can do this video. So I hope that video's helped. That's all about prep centers, and that's my recommendation for a prep center to use, and I will see you in the next video.